up, everyone? Matt and Adamo here. We're just doing our podcast again. We had a little hiatus, only like 5 months. I don't know how long it was, but yeah,
Nothing.
no biggie. But today we're gonna be looking back at our season predictions we did a long time ago. So,
Way
and we
before the
also,
season,
yeah,
right?
it was
So
it was a crazy season. Not gonna lie, just a lot of ups and downs, a lot of like predictions that I definitely got wrong. You'll see.
that same here. Just
Yeah.
looking at that North Division right now, I got one thing right about it. And that's about it. So
No, I think the one that I messed with the most is the Central, but you'll see that like right now. So
yeah,
first thing we're going to talk about is our predictions. So for the awards, we actually did more awards now. We're going to do it in a later thing, but whatever. So I said my Stanley Cup champions would be Colorado, and I'm still going by that pick because I think that they're 100%. I think they're winning. Like there's no,
yeah.
yeah, no
Well,
way.
they just won the President's Trophy too, so
I
can't
know,
fault you for that. They're the best team,
I know.
clearly.
That's for sure. And then the heart, I said Nathan McKinnon. I don't think that's true,
I
obviously.
said that too. I think we all know who's going to win it this year. It should,
Yeah,
I think, unanimously should be Connor McDavid.
100%. This guy was unhuman. I
Yeah, he's on
watched
a
the
different
game where
planet.
he got to 100 points. It was like ridiculous. Like this guy was hunting on the puck like it was anything. He just like
Yeah,
and he if
yeah.
he was on the ice, like his teammate was just like go good. Just go.
Yeah, they were looking for him too. Like, good on
Yeah.
them. I actually want to bring up my fantasy because I was in the finals for fantasy hockey,
Yeah.
and your boy was playing against Connor McDavid. So obviously, I lost because I think next
Yeah.
year, I think next year they're gonna ban him. Like,
They're
you
gonna ban
can't.
him. They're gonna ban him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, of
not
course.
fair. He's not fair. If I
Well,
look at my week, Austin Matthews put up 38 points.
yeah.
Mitch Marner put up 31 points. Those are both on my team. I think those were great picks.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid put up 93 points.
Yeah.
He more than doubled every single player on my team. My best player that week was Chris Letang somehow. Had a really bad week.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Doubled them.
I was in two leagues. I was in my family league, which was the four of us. I ended up coming second. I
Yeah.
had Connor. I got first pick, so it's like no brainer. I chose Connor all
Yeah.
day. And then the next pick, and then my other league, I had Connor, and I won that league because Connor. So I was actually losing until Connor played, and then Connor got his 4 point game, and then that's how I won my fantasy basically. So Connor was obviously a good pick
Yeah.
at the start, hundred
Obviously. Yeah.
percent.
Yeah. So he's definitely going to be MVP. What
Yeah,
else? What awards did we look at?
pardon.
What other awards did we look at
We
before the
looked at
season?
we looked at the beginning. We looked at the Norris, and I said Victor Hedman. I don't think I'm going by that pick anymore,
No,
but
neither do I.
I think it's Adam Fox all the way. I don't know. He was
Yeah,
just a stud this year.
he's been good.
He's definitely been good for sure.
I picked Dougie Hamilton at the beginning of the season, which
That's not a bad pick.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I think
No.
he'll still end up being top five, but
Yeah.
like you said, Adam Fox, he's obviously up there. I
Yeah.
think I take, it's difficult. I have four defensemen that I would
Yeah.
put there. My number one, I love Charlie McAvoy. See, as
Okay.
much as I'm a Leaf fan, Charlie McAvoy's been awesome.
Yeah.
Adam Fox has
Fair
been
enough.
great. Gil McCarr, he missed
Yeah.
some time with injury, but my
Yeah.
God,
He
that guy's
was.
a monster.
Yeah. He's winning the Norris for years to come. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. And then the other one was Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah.
He's been really good this season too. So not a horrible prediction,
Yeah.
right?
And then Vesna, I think we both said this, but I went with Andre Vasilevsky, and he definitely performed the way I thought he would
Yeah.
this year for sure,
So
100%.
did I. And I think he'll win it without any challenge. Maybe Connor
Yeah,
Hellebuck's was good. UC Saros was pretty good too from
yeah, he
Nashville.
was. He basically
But
got them into the playoffs this year. Like,
oh
I
yeah,
don't think
he
Nashville had
dragged
any
them.
business making it. They had no
And I
business making
think
it.
little sneak peek or a tease as they call it. I don't think Nashville's going really far, especially against Carolina in the
Yeah, no
playoffs.
chance. They have. Sorry, Nashville fans. I don't know if any of them are watching, but yeah, you have no chance. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
Carolina's amazing this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do
All
we do
right.
any more? I don't
No,
think we did
those are the four we did. Now we're going into what are divisions. What are divisions picked? So Adamo, do you want to start? What did you predict?
Yeah, let's just give our top four because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think anyone cares. We all had Ottawa coming last, and they promptly might come second last. I don't know. They've been okay
yeah,
lately, but I
yeah,
had Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg. Calgary, obviously disappointed. Um,
yeah.
Edmonton, Winnipeg, 3 and 4. I guess I called that type of Edmonton finishing one above Winnipeg. But what I didn't see, I guess, was Montreal. I guess I undervalued the additions of Josh Anderson and Tyler Toffoli. They looked
Wow.
really good this season. So
Yeah, yeah. To follow, just a point. Like Tyler Toffoli was never like a really good guy. Like he was like good, but he wasn't like
40 goals, good.
28 goals good. Like he wasn't that
Yeah.
good. And like they got him for 4 million bucks. Like that's like 4 point
Yeah.
something million, and he's putting up
Yeah.
that many goals. Wow.
Yep. No, goes to show you how bad that management team is in Vancouver. They let him walk for like Jake Virtanen. They
Yeah,
wanted to resign. So
yeah. And now Jake Fernandez doesn't play anymore. Gone.
as deservedly so, I'd
Yep.
say.
Yeah. So divisions I had for the North were I said Edmonton was going to be Toronto because I never trust Toronto ever. Leafs fan in my heart, like you see it in my background, in my old Leaf sticker just chilling there. But I
Yep.
said Edmonton, Toronto. Then this is the one I got wrong. Calgary. Calgary was third. That was a bad pick. Now looking
We
back
both
at
had
it,
them. I had them
yeah.
second. You had
And
them
then
third. So
four, I had Montreal because I just had a feeling they'd make it this year. They'd always Montreal is always that team that like starts out really good, right? And then they just kind of like slow down throughout the year, but they end up making
yeah,
the playoffs anyway. So, but the team I
yeah,
didn't value enough was Winnipeg. I mean, they've sucked the last like 10 games. Like I think they're 2-8. Like they're not even that good. But
yeah.
I
Especially without
definitely,
Ehlers.
yeah, I definitely underestimated them.
Yep.
So, what
Okay.
division do you want to do next, Adamo? Let's choose one.
Let's do the East Division, where I
Oh,
was not that wrong, kind of wrong. I had Boston winning it.
okay, that's not that bad.
Washington coming second, Pittsburgh third, Philadelphia fourth, Islanders fifth.
Wow,
Um,
yeah,
so I don't think anyone really saw Philadelphia just completely fall. I don't know. I didn't see yours, but I don't know many people who just had them falling off a cliff. They couldn't get a save. Guys were getting injured. Travis Konechny had a crazy start and just completely
yeah.
like a
I don't know
healthy
what happened
scratched
with
him,
them.
right? I
Yeah, I
swear he
don't know
was
what
healthy
happened with him.
scratched.
Like he was so good, and then all of a sudden he sucked. Like I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah,
So for the East Division, for me, I had Washington winning. I mean, Pittsburgh ended up winning, but oh well, lucky you. Then I had
yeah.
Philly second, so that was a really bad
Oof.
pick. Yeah, and he dropped a six. Like the Rangers finished ahead of them. I still
Yeah.
feel bad for the Rangers because if they were in any other division, they make it. They make the
Oh yeah, that's
playoffs.
a
It's just
terrific hockey team.
yeah, that team has a bright future ahead of them for sure. And then I had Pittsburgh three. That's kind of off, but not really. And then I had the Islanders four. So not that bad, but I had Boston not making it. That was just my hot take from the beginning, but it obviously didn't pan out.
Yeah, yeah. They've looked, especially now. Well, we made these predictions before they had Taylor Hall,
Yeah,
so
this is
I give you
before
some
like
credit.
anything.
But
Yeah,
now Taylor Hall's looking like a stud on Boston. Like I
yeah,
think we all knew. We knew Taylor Hall wasn't that bad of a
yeah,
player. He was just
exactly.
in terrible situation. So good for
Yeah,
him, but screw Boston.
yeah,
Not too bad. Should we move on to the Central?
yeah. Central sounds good for sure.
All right. So Central Division. I also didn't have it terribly wrong. Well, that's
I
actually
had it
not that's
horribly
true.
wrong. You don't even
I
want to hear
had
mine.
Tampa Bay first,
Okay.
Carolina second,
Yeah.
Columbus third,
Oh.
Nashville fourth. Yeah, I had Columbus in there. Again, this was before the Line trade when they had Dubois. I had Florida finishing second. Oh, third last. There's
Oh.
Chicago down there in last, who actually had a pretty decent season.
Chicago, Patty King kind of carried them though. He kind of carried them in the
Yeah,
early spot, but then they kind of fell off a bit. But I didn't expect them to
yeah,
make the playoffs.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, so I literally had the same thing as you: Tampa, Carolina, Columbus, Nashville. Not Columbus is obviously a horrible pick. They're finished under Detroit somehow. Don't know how that happened, but this is kind of a throw in the trash year for them. But I really underestimated Florida, and you'll see. I think Florida is going to beat Tampa. Hot take.
I actually have that too. Well, I don't know. You know what? I keep flip-flopping between it,
Yeah,
but we'll
it's
save
hard.
that. We'll save that discussion for
Yeah, for
when we
sure.
actually talk about it. As terms of Columbus, wow, they top to bottom
Sucked.
suck. Like
They are
John
so bad.
Tortorella, John Tortorella's gone, luckily for them. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know how he gets another job in the NHL after the shenanigans that
Seattle.
happened.
Seattle.
Can you imagine? I
Oh my,
think oh,
that would be
oof,
so funny.
oof,
Yeah, that'd
oof.
be rough.
Yeah, that was a terrible experiment in Columbus. He brought them far.
Yeah, he did.
If you
I'll
remember,
give
he
him that.
he they swept Tampa, but I think his message kind of ran dry. And
Yeah,
I don't know how you make Patrick Laine, who is one of the best goal scorers in the league, a power forward, like a
yeah.
dump and chase guy.
Not gonna work. Not gonna work at all. You
Yeah,
use him
so
for
we
a
were
shot. Like
we were
that's
terribly wrong,
yeah,
might I say, about Columbus. Nashville fourth, whatever.
yeah,
They're probably gonna lose. I
yeah.
hate to
They'll
say it.
yeah. They're probably gone. They're like I said
Yeah,
before. Sorry, Nashville fans. But
yeah.
yeah,
Get to our final division, the West Division,
yeah.
where I had again. I looked. You know what? I got all four teams right, but I don't think anyone
Wow.
could have screwed this up
Yeah,
unless you did.
I was
I
really close. If I had Minnesota above, I'd have perfect. But
really okay.
yeah,
I had Colorado, St. Louis, Vegas, and Minnesota. So what did you have?
I had Colorado, Vegas, St. Louis, Minnesota. So I was close.
That's really good. That's
Yeah,
really good.
it turned out well because Colorado won last night. So that's definitely a good thing. And they
Yeah.
clinched the President's Trophy. But I still don't understand why they go by losses more than wins because, like, you look at their vision, Vegas had 40 and Colorado had 39. So I guess that's just personal preference, but I don't know.
I no idea. It doesn't make sense. I'd like to talk about Minnesota real quick. I know we won't,
Yes,
because we
yes. Oh
haven't
my
really
God.
watched Minnesota much. We're not gonna lie,
Yeah,
we're Leaf fans, so we're not out here
yes.
watching boring Minnesota games. Well, not
Not
boring
boring.
Minnesota games.
Yeah,
Kirill Kaprizov, if that's how you
yes.
pronounce it,
Yeah,
is ridiculous. He is the next Artemi Panarin. I'll say it.
100%. 100%.
Minnesota found themselves a gem in that fifth round of whatever draft it was.
Yeah, that was just insane. Like this guy, you'll see, but I have him winning the Calder 100%.
So do I.
This
I think it's
it's
undebatable.
it's undebatable. You could make a case for Jason Robertson, but the amount of times, like those Sportsnet like those highlight reels, like plays in the month or anything like that.
Yeah.
Kirill
Yeah.
Kaprizov was on it like 2 or 3 times every
every
month.
time. Every
It
time
was
he's skating,
ridiculous.
he's ridiculous edges. He's an elite stick handler, playmaker. He's a Howie too. He could shoot. Oh my god,
Yeah, this
he's gonna
guy's
be
the
really good
next Artemi Panarin, like you said, 100%. I'm
for sure.
I'm definitely a fan of Minnesota. I'm kind of rooting for them now.
Yeah. All right. So should we move on to our season awards? Who we give our awards to? I know we kind of
Yes,
touched on them earlier, but let's
yeah, we
formally
touched
do
on
it.
a little bit, but we have what we decided to do is we have three nominees, and
Yeah.
then we'll tell you our winner.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna start with the Hart Trophy because this is pretty like undebatable. So for Hart, I said the three people are Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, and I said Patrick Kane because Patty Kane did carry his team for a long time, and if he just pushed them over the edge and he made the playoffs, that would have been awesome. And then Austin Matthews, obviously, like that's a no-brainer at that point.
yeah.
This guy is 40 goals and 41 goals in 55, like 50 games. Like this guy's he's ridiculous. He just putting the puck in the net. And then
Yeah.
yeah, and then my winner is Connor McDavid 100%. This guy, like I said, is literally unhuman. Like I watch this guy and it doesn't even seem like it's real. Like it's
Yeah, he's playing
ridiculous.
a different sport out there. Like I have him too as my MVP, and I don't think if anyone tries to make a case, like I love Austin Matthews as much as the next
Yeah,
person. Who doesn't? The guy
yeah,
is awesome.
exactly.
But if anyone actually tries to make a case for him to win it over Connor McDavid, I don't know what to tell you. This guy Connor McDavid, almost at a like near 200-point pace. I think it's like 150. It's 5 or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
So I have Matthews too For
Yeah,
my number three, I have Sidney Crosby.
yeah, that's a
I'm not gonna
good
say
pick.
he's carried the Penguins, but finished first in that division and solid on both ends of the ice. I love this game
Exactly.
this season.
Yeah, Pittsburgh did surprisingly well. I thought they weren't going to do that well just because their roster was a bit questionable for me at the beginning, but they
Yeah.
definitely did end up doing well. Like I was surprised. Cody Cece did actually pretty good for them.
Did you see? There was a point in time, like for a month, he was first among 5-on-5 points for defensemen. It was
I'm like,
stupid.
God, it seems like no one fits on the Leafs anymore. Like, what's going on?
Happening.
Yeah,
I don't know how well he did this season. I'm not gonna
I think
lie,
he did
but
pretty good. I was looking at his stats the other day. He didn't do that bad. I think he was injured for a bit, so he was kind of
I
up
do
and
know
down.
that.
But
I do know that.
yeah, so just switching gears to the Besna now. My three nominees were Andre Vasilevsky, Connor Hellebuck, and then hear me out. Here's the Leaf fan coming out of me. Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell has to be recognized for something. I know he didn't play many games. Like this is kind of a mean pick, but this guy is 17-2-2. He he was 12-0 at one point. Like just put that in perspective. I think if he played the whole year and like Anderson didn't play, like he probably had a case for the Vezina, but I just put him there because of my inner heart Leaf love, I guess.
I can't blame you. A guy who's 17-2-2. He has like a 927 or something. He can make it 18-2-2 tonight against
Exactly.
Winnipeg, which would be cool. But I also have Vasilevsky one, Hellebuck two, and then I gave it to UC Saros as my number three. I think he's dragged this Nashville team into the playoffs. They're gonna get
Yeah.
killed, but at least
Oh well.
Saros had a really good season.
Yeah. Good for him on that. So
Yep.
here's the like trophy that I'm not very like I guess known for. Like I don't really like think of it that often. Is the Selkie
Yeah.
because like I just like obviously me. I'm a forward. I care mainly about
Yeah.
offensive numbers, but
Offense.
I do pay a little bit of attention to defense. So the three nominees I had were Patrice Bergeron because he's just always like a solid like two-way guy. I had
Yep.
Mark Stone because same thing, he's just solid two-way guy. And then I also had Mitch Marner because as much as Mitch Marner was a good offensive player this season, he killed penalties like all the time. Like this guy was he was a great player this year, Mitch Marner. Wow.
Yeah, I totally agree. For my number one, I have Mark Stone winning it. I think we need to give it to a winger. I feel like if you look every year, it's an ongoing rotation between Patrice Bergeron and Ryan O'Reilly. So
Yeah.
we need to give it a little spice. I like Mark Stone. I think he led the league in takeaways too.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
how much that matters, but
yeah.
even the advanced numbers love him apparently. So
Yeah,
go
exactly.
Mark
So
Stone one, Mitch Marner two, because that penalty killing.
yeah.
And three, I had Alexander Barkov. I think he needs some recognition for how well he played this season, especially on Florida, who
Yeah.
doesn't get that much media coverage, but they had a really good season. They had a like really, really good season, especially Florida standards, coming
Yeah. That
second in that division.
yeah,
So
they did really well because of two things. I think one of them was their signings and trades. Like their signings turned out amazing. Carter Verhaeghe,
sure.
Anthony Duclair, geez, like then they traded so many guys during this off season. Like they're definitely going for it this year, and I
Yeah.
hope to see if they can make it out of the Tampa series. But I'm not sure. Still
Yeah.
still debating that.
They're doing all of this with a $10 million backup goalie
Yeah,
with
it's pretty
Sergei
amazing.
Bobrovsky. So
Yeah. Oh wow.
should be interesting.
This is why I never give huge contracts to people unless I know they're going to be good, especially goalies. You
Yeah.
never want to do that.
I'll look at ours in Toronto, making 5 million to hopefully sit on the bench in the playoffs. Again, we'll touch
Yes.
on that series
Yeah,
later on.
that's
Let's
for
do
sure.
our final two or three awards. I think there's two
Yeah,
more.
we have the Norris and the Calder. Those are the next ones. So we'll start with the Norris.
Yeah.
Norris, I had Adam Fox winning it because I am a Ranger fan as well. They're probably my favorite team other than the Leafs, just because of their bright future and everything. Like they have a very, very bright future ahead of them. Then I have Victor Hedman, just because Victor Hedman played like great this year, like he usually does, and then Dougie Hamilton as well because of his offensive game.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I had Charlie McAvoy 1, Dougie Hamilton 2, Adam Fox 3. I think Adam Fox was awesome this season, but am I muted?
No, you're good. You're good. Oh wait.
Oh, okay. I'm not muted.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, a little thing came up on my screen. But yeah, as I was saying, Charlie McAvoy 1. I love his defensive game. I love everything about Charlie McAvoy, and I wish he wasn't a Boston Bruin because I want to love him even more.
But you can't.
Nope. Number 2, I had Dougie Hamilton. He had a quiet, but very, very good season with Carolina. I think he was their best defender by far. And 3, I had Adam Fox. No disrespect to him. Obviously, he's number 3. He's like the 3rd best defenseman in the league. But I think he went through like a little stretch there where he was ridiculous and then kind of fell back to earth. I think it was in like mid-March. So
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that.
yeah. Let's do our last award.
Yep. This is definitely the one. So Calder, we're just gonna go 3-1. I just want to change it up. 3, I had Josh Norris. He did not get a lot of attention, but he was sneaky good this year. Like just watching Toronto games because Ottawa always seems to play Toronto hard, but Josh Norris was just great. Like he was wow.
Yes.
And then my number 2 is Jason Robertson, another guy like no one really cares about Dallas, unfortunately. Like I guess that when I hear about it, but he sneakily had a really good season, and I hope Nick turns out to be as good as his brother. But it's a long shot, I think, at this point. But I think he has some potential. And then winning the Calder, like we said before, Kirill Kaprizov. This guy was just
to no one's surprise.
Yeah, no one's surprised. Like this guy, how many goals did he end up scoring? Like 20 something. That's like a rookie.
Oh yeah, he was on like a almost 80-point pace. He's ridiculous. I had the same exact ones as you, so no need to go over it. Josh Norris, awesome season. I think he had like 35 points in 56 games, just pretty good, especially because he plays on the Ottawa Senators. So yeah, he's going to be a really good player, and I'm excited for the Battle of Ontario.
Yeah.
Battle of Ontario to be good again. Hopefully, it's like that battle in Alberta.
Ottawa has like a sneaky good future like ahead of them. I think like they did a lot better this year than I thought. I thought they were going to be like beyond crap this year, but completely blew my expectations out of the water there.
Yep. Okay, so let's go on to our final segment. We are going to kind of preview this year's playoffs. As maybe some of you don't know, but the way that they're doing the playoffs this year is they're taking 4 divisions and they're playing kind of like a tournament. So it's the winner of each division will make it to the conference finals. They'll make it to the final 4, and then they'll be reseeded by regular season seeding. So that being said, let's save the North Division for last because that looks like the most fun.
Yes.
Let's go with the East Division.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first? Yeah. So first matchup, there's the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Islanders. And sorry, Pens fans, but I'm taking the Islanders. This is my one off the board pick. The Islanders are just good at winning. Like they just win no matter what. And I think it will go the distance, but I think the Islanders will eventually have the edge just because of how good Varlamov was this year. He was just great. He's the goalie they need 100%.
Yeah. I actually had Penguins in 6 games. I'm not regretting it, but that was a very difficult series for me to predict. I feel like they always play each other in the playoffs. I don't know if I know last year they played, and it was last year. I don't know, a few years ago, maybe last year.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Time is fake. I remember the Islanders swept the Penguins, so I think the Penguins get revenge here. There's no way Crosby lets that happen again. I don't think, and especially since I don't know, the Islanders are kind of kicking and screaming into this playoffs. But like you said, they find a way to win. Like you look at this team on paper, it's not that good, and I don't know how they do it. I know Barry Trotz, fantastic coach.
Yeah,
I don't get how they were in the conference finals last year, and they took it to like 6 or 7 against Tampa. It was craziness.
I'm telling you, they just win. That's all they do.
Let's hear your next matchup, which is Washington and Boston. What do you got?
This one's hard because, okay, here's my thing. Boston's winning this series 100%. Why? The Capitals are probably the luckiest team in the league. Their shooting percentage is unbelievable. Ovi only has like 20 something goals this year. He was not himself this year. And by the way, he's not catching Gretzky. Don't quote me on it. He's not doing it. But they're just like you just see like they're expected to score like 2 like 5-on-5 goals a game, but they score 3. Like it's just ridiculous, and I just don't think that their play is sustainable. I know they got better with acquiring Anthony Mantha at the trade deadline, which was kind of an off the. I was really surprised when I saw that trade. I was like, wow,
that was out of nowhere, eh?
Yeah.
Like at the very last second, they made that trade.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And
yeah,
then,
I agree with you.
Yeah, and then Boston now is Taylor Hall, and he's now a stud again, like we all remember him to be. But
yeah,
Buffalo does really screw over a lot of players, don't they? Look at that Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel. My God.
I
actually have a little theory on that. I have a little theory on that.
Touch on that.
Jack Eichel. We forgot to talk about it, so we're gonna do it now. I don't care. This is our podcast.
Yeah. Whatever.
I think he is going to play for the Seattle Kraken next season.
Whoa.
I think he gets traded to Seattle. I think they're gonna give him, and here's what they're gonna do. Seattle's gonna take on Jack Eichel and Jeff Skinner's crappy contract, like $19 million. And they're gonna pay like a second round pick and 2 A-level prospects, maybe like a conditional first or something. And yeah, Jack Eichel's gonna be on. There is a garbage truck outside, but yeah, he's gonna be a crackhead next season.
Oh yeah, that is see. I want him to get traded to the Rangers because they're kind of the front runner right now when it looks to like for places for him to go because the Rangers have the assets to move him. And then, like, I just think they'll go there. I saw this mock trade between Boston, and Boston was like I think Buffalo was asking from Boston like David Pastrnak and a pick for Jack Eichel. I was like, what? There's no way Boston's making that trade. Like, there's absolutely no way that's happening.
Yeah, no, this isn't NHL 21. And you know what? Maybe he doesn't go to the Seattle Kraken, but it would be funny. It would be pretty cool too. See like a franchise top 10 center who's like only 24 years old end up in the expansion team, especially if they're going for it. Like we've seen Vegas do it. So yeah, maybe we should get back on track here.
Oh well, that was a fun combo. But
so
yeah.
I'm gonna give my prediction for the Boston Washington. This is going to be not the first. I was going back and forth. I have Boston winning it because, like you said, Washington got extremely lucky. They had a lot of production out of their bottom 6, which is probably not going to happen in the playoffs, especially when Pastrnak, Bergeron, and Marchand are going to be playing like 25 minutes a night. Yeah. So give me the Bruins. The Bruins are a playoff team too, man. They know how to get away with things. Trust me, Leaf fans know they know how to get away with things. So yeah.
As much as I don't want them to win, I think they're going to.
Yep. Well, let's give who we think is going to come out of that division. We'll do that. Just one team.
Yeah, just one team. Wins it? So Islanders, Bruins. That's what I have right now. But I think Boston's coming out of that division.
Okay, I have Boston, Pittsburgh, and I also have Boston coming out of that division. Meaning, if Toronto were to come out of that division, the North Division, they're your dog.
Yes, Millie, just go away.
Sorry, if Toronto were to come out of that division, that would mean they could play Boston in the finals. So.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. But I would love for that to happen, and then it goes to Game 7, then we win. Boom. Yeah.
Yep. Couple tables. All right, let's move on to our next division. Let's do the Central.
Yeah. All right.
Carolina, Nashville. Who you got?
Carolina sweeps. I'll just say it now. They sweep 100%.
Yep. Same. There's not much to talk about here. Maybe one game. I'll never actually write a sweep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll never write a sweep. But if there's any series that is going to be a sweep, it's going to be this one.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I don't think we need to talk about it much. We got Carolina winning it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nashville. You guys suck. Battle of Florida. Let's hear it.
Oh, this one I am going so back and forth. It is ridiculous. And I just want Florida to win. I'm having Florida winning because I want them to win so bad, and I think they'll do it in 7. Like, it will be like one of those series where it's like back and forth, back and forth. There will be like triple overtime in Game 7 or something like that, and then Huberto or Barkov finishes it off, and then
wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't it be something if it was Carter Verhaeghe, who used to play on Tampa?
That would be amazing. That would be an amazing thing to happen. That's for sure. Much as, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa wins because of their depth. Their team is just stacked. So
yeah, they're ridiculous. I also have Florida in 7, but that's me wanting to see it happen. I think more realistically, we end up seeing Tampa win. They literally, signs were pointing towards Nikita Kucherov coming back. Who would have guessed that?
Yeah.
He's back. Same with Steven Stamkos too. How ironic.
Yeah, how ironic they're both coming back.
Yeah. So you're seeing the same team as the Stanley Cup winners. They dominated everyone. It's how quick is Nikita Kucherov going to be able to get in stride? If we remember last season, he had kind of a slow start in those first 10, 15-ish games.
Yeah.
So it's playoff hockey too. Tampa knows
I don't know
what
how
they're
gonna. I don't know how he's gonna perform. I have no idea.
Well, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen him play since last year's Stanley Cup Finals. Well, obviously he was ridiculous in the bubble because he's Nikita Kucherov, but we'll see. We'll see. I think so. I'm gonna say Florida in 7, but I don't know. So who do you think is coming out of this division?
I think Carolina comes out of this division. Carolina is just they're really good this year. They beat Florida and Tampa in the points, so I just think they're just coming out of this. They have a great team.
Yeah, I don't think there's much debating that. I don't know. Right now, I have Florida written down coming out of it, beating Carolina, because I always cheer for Carolina and they always seem to disappoint. So not disappoint, but they never win the cup. So I don't know, but this year they look incredible. They could absolutely do it. I think Tampa is more than capable of doing it, considering they literally did it last year. I think the hockey option, because hockey's so random and so hard to predict, gut instinct is telling me Florida does it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's not a bad pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move on to the West Division. Colorado, St. Louis. Who you got?
St. Louis. No, I'm kidding. It's Colorado, 100%. I have Colorado winning the cup, so there's I swear, St. Louis is not as good as they used to be anymore. Like, they have fallen off a bit, and their playoffs will be short lived. I think they win in like 5 or something like that. Maybe Bennington steals an extra game, but he's not been the same since that 2019 playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we were talking about earlier with that Carolina Predators series that that's the only one with sweep potential. I'd say this one has sweep potential too. Yeah, the Avalanche, they're unfair. They're unfair. They had like the highest expected goals percentage or something in like the last 10 years or something.
Yeah,
they're crazy. So yeah, I have them in 5, but so I have them in 6, but I might change that. Colorado's too good. The interesting one, Vegas versus Minnesota. Who you got?
As much as I want Minnesota to win, I'm rooting for this team so hard to do stuff, but Vegas's team just isn't fair this year. Like, they're like kind of like the Avs in Carolina, like, and Tampa, like their teams are absolutely stacked. Like that team is ridiculous. Like, Pietrangelo isn't even their best defenseman. Like, just think about that.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like, wow. Like,
So I, on the other hand, have Minnesota. I don't know why. Kirill the Thrill.
Kirill the Thrill. Whenever there's a Kirill, there's a way.
That's a good one. Is that a thing?
No, I just made that up on the spot.
Oh, okay.
When there's a Kirill, there's a way.
Yeah, I think he could do it. I think he could single-handedly steal in the series. This guy is that good, and I get he doesn't have any playoff experience,
Yeah,
but Minnesota has they play playoff hockey type of thing. They play
yeah,
defense first, but in like opposed to last like teams previous, that's all they did. All they did was play defense, and it was
yeah,
boring. But now with Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson Ek, Zuccarello had a good season. You have
yeah,
forwards now that can actually score too.
yeah,
Um, Talbot in the net, Kakinen in the net.
yeah.
This, I think this series, people people will say Vegas wins it like in a sweep. I think Colorado, not Colorado. I think Minnesota can take this. It's like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. Like I really am rooting for Minnesota ever since they got Kirill. Like that player just completely like put a new life into that franchise. It's unbelievable, like how much he turned that franchise around. Like he turned a guy like Zuccarello who didn't even play that much. Like I don't think he even played every game like a couple years ago into like he's like him and like Kaprizov are like the duo now. There, it's crazy.
That was good. Yeah. So who do you have coming out of that division? Well, I think we know.
I think it's Colorado out of that division. I don't think there's much arguing yet.
Yep, can't fault you. I have them too. So I think this only means there's one division left. We're
Yeah.
going to go the 2-3 series first, which is
Yes.
Edmonton and Winnipeg. Who do you have in the 2-3 series?
Look, have you seen the stats that Oilers have put up against the Jets this year? It is absolutely ridiculous. They absolutely dominated them. Like the Jets have no like, and they're on like a losing streak right now. This series could be ugly. Like this series could have sweet potential. Like I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Like just with McDavid and Draisaitl, like will literally like carry that team. Like and Winnipeg just doesn't have the defense to stop them at all. Their defensemen, they just can't stop him. It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, no one can stop him, but they in particularly can't stop anything.
Yeah,
Like you mentioned sweet potential. I totally agree. I also have Edmonton in 5. I say 5 because we're forgetting Winnipeg still has the first or second best goalie in the world. I'd say it's still the best goalie in the world. So I think he
yeah,
could steal a game, but yeah, man, I can't see there. I don't see a world where Winnipeg, who is like just rolling, not rolling, more the opposite, kind of falling into the playoffs. They don't look good. They're missing their best player. I'll say it, Nikolai Ehlers. I don't know if
yeah,
he's back, but they looked garbage without him.
yeah.
So yeah, I got the Oilers winning the series. That being said, there's only one series left
My
that I'd like
favorite.
to hear your
I
opinion on.
think our favorites. Our
Oh,
favorite.
yep.
Okay,
So
look, the Leafs. This is their year. If they do not win this first series against Montreal, like one of their core guys is gone. Like I'm telling you right now. Like
yep.
JT or Nylander are gone. I'm like 100%. Like they have to win this, and I just think they will. Like I know Montreal has good defensemen, but some of them are out. Carey Price, like he might be a factor, he might play, but they have Jake Allen in that. Give not get me wrong, he's a pretty good goalie, but just I don't think Montreal. Like I'll think they'll be able to hold on for the first couple of games. Like they'll make it interesting, but I just think eventually, like the Leafs will just steamroll over this team. Just their offense is just ridiculous. Like Matthews and Marner can completely like carry that team, and like they have. Okay, here's a funny stat. This is just I just thought of it. Spezza, who's on our fourth line, on the Leafs' fourth line, has more points than Josh Anderson this year. Like, and people say Montreal is going to make it out of the thing. I don't think they will. But
Yeah,
that being said, Montreal will make it interesting because they're the Leafs.
there you go. I was gonna say you were forgetting one major X
Yes,
factor here. This team
yes,
is called the Toronto Maple Leafs. They wear a maple leaf on their sweater. So we don't know. Who do you have? I'm assuming Toronto.
I'm taking Toronto in 6
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I don't think it will take 7. Like, as much as I think they're going to steamroll them, they are the Leafs. I think maybe Carey Price comes in and he miraculously steals a game like he always
Yeah.
does. And yeah, that's basically what I think. I think Toronto. This is finally the time that they will get it.
I have that too. I have Toronto in 6. If we're being realistic, if we're looking at every single stat, you can look at any stat you want. This series should be a sweep. It should be a sweep.
Yes.
Toronto's had better goaltending. I know Carey Price is Carey Price, but if we're just talking regular season, Jack Campbell is leaps and bounds in front of any Montreal Canadian goalie. We're talking offense, not even close. Talking defense, closer, but Toronto's still being better.
Yeah.
It should be a sweep, but we know this is Toronto. We know we have to be over the top and dramatic about things. But I'm going
Yes.
to cautiously take my favorite team in 6 games,
Yeah.
even though it should be 4 or 5. So, who do you have coming out of the North, though?
This is hard because, like, I think the Leafs are good enough to do it. I just, that one factor, that one doubt as a Leaf fan, every single time it gets in your way. And part of me thinks, like, oh, they're not going to be able to contain McDavid. Like, he's probably going to carry them, and like usual, no, they're going to come out of the division. And I see that happening, but I'm still sticking in my gut. I think the Leafs finally just get through. Like, after the Montreal. Okay, remember what happened to Washington a couple of years ago? Remember, they just lost and lost and lost and lost and
Yeah.
lost. They just always lost, like the Leafs. And the one time that they beat their rivals, the Penguins, in a series, that's
Yep.
when they won the cup. After that, it was no going back. And part of me thinks that's exactly what's going to happen to the Leafs. Finally.
Yep, I agree. Do you know when the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Montreal Canadiens? Do you want to take a guess at what year?
Well, I know the last time they met was in '79, but I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
lost that year
Yeah,
because
they did. Do
yeah, they did because Montreal
you want
ended
to
up winning that year. They
do you
won
want to
the cup.
guess what year the Leafs beat them?
I'm thinking sometime in the '60s. That's my guess.
1967.
1967, the last time they won the cup.
1967 is the last time the Maple Leafs beat the Montreal Canadiens in a playoff series. Give me the Maple Leafs to come out of this division.
All
I
right.
think they can do it. They're the best team. They've been the best team all season. They
Yeah.
have the second best player in the division. I'd argue they have the third best player in the division. I'd argue Marner's been better than Draisaitl this season,
Yeah.
especially defensively. So they can do it. You could ignore this McDavid jersey behind me. I love Connor McDavid, but
Me too. Don't
sorry,
worry.
man. You need a team. Like the team sucks. You take McDavid off that team. You're looking at a lottery team. Mike Smith's been awesome this season.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but there's still potential. Like last year, we saw they couldn't get a save. They couldn't get a save out of Koskinen. They went to Smith and they couldn't get a save out of Smith. So
Yeah.
if that happens, Toronto, I'm personally more scared of Montreal than Edmonton. Like I think
Wow.
because Montreal also plays a play style that kind of
Messes up.
complement. Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of screws up the Leafs game plan because the Leafs like to have possession in the offensive zone.
Yeah.
And with that, you don't need to be that good of a skater to just defend in possession. In offensive zone attack. So
Yeah.
the Montreal Canadiens, they don't really have any defensemen who are the most fleet of foot. I know Romanov or Romanov, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Romanov. He's a really good skater.
Yeah.
Shea Weber, not that good of a skater. Joel Edmondson, not a good skater. Sherratt, not a good skater. They waived Victor Mete. Only Lord knows why they did that.
Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking there, but I'm glad
Yeah.
he's on a team now that he can play a
Yeah.
lot of minutes now.
Woodbridge boy. I saw him golfing one time, actually, at it was
No
like
way.
a really bad course too. I didn't know what
That's
he was
weird.
doing there.
What is he
This
doing at a bad golf
it
course?
was a $20 like par 3 training course. But anyways, yeah, I got Toronto winning it, and Montreal I'm more scared of than Edmonton.
Okay. So just for show, so the four teams we have coming out is the Leafs, the Avs. Who do we say for the East? The Bruins, and then
Yeah, I
um,
said the Bruins,
and then
and
I guess Carolina or Florida. So
yeah,
so how would
also
that
Florida.
so how would that seed up? Just quick maths. So
Quick maths. Do you know it? Do you
no,
have
I
it in
don't.
front of you?
No, I don't have it in front of me. But
Okay, so it would be Colorado 1,
yeah,
it would be Carolina 2, Toronto 3, Boston 4.
so they'd face Carolina in the net.
Yeah.
So the Leafs would face Carolina. That's I'm not looking forward to that.
Same with
That's
Florida.
possible.
By the way, it's the same thing. So
Same
Florida
thing.
would
Yeah.
be 2 seed. It'd be in Carolina game 1, or however they're doing it.
Yeah.
The Canadian government. Thanks, Dougie.
Yeah, Dougie. We
So
don't like you here. We don't like you here, Dougie.
so just for show, like you said before, let's give our final four prediction. We'll start with 1 versus 4, which should be Colorado and Boston.
Colorado's 100% winning that series. I know Boston
Totally
is
agree.
good, but Colorado's going to the Cup Finals this year.
I could not disagree with you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the more interesting one just quickly. Toronto versus Carolina or Florida. We'll start with Carolina.
Carolina, I think they lose. I think as soon as they face another team, like it might, like everyone's saying, "Oh, wait until the Leafs face a different team," and I'm like thinking, "Yeah, wait until they see. Like, who knows what's gonna happen?" But
Who knows? You don't
yeah,
know. We don't. We literally don't know. We've never seen TJ Brody play against Carolina. We've never seen him. We've never seen Joe Thornton or Wayne Simmons or any of these new
yeah,
guys. So yeah, I'm a little scared of the Carolina series. But as for Florida,
I think
I
it's
think they can
possible.
handle them.
I think they can win that series.
Yeah,
They play a
especially
they play a very similar game. Like Florida plays a very similar game to the Leafs, and the Leafs have an advantage if they have a team that plays the same way as them, just because of their offensive capabilities.
yeah, I think Toronto is just a better version of Florida. No disrespect, but Florida
Yeah,
also has had good goaltending, but Drieger really good. Um, not where you need it to be. So I think if
yeah,
that were to happen, yeah, I think the Leafs beat Florida, and I'm gonna say they beat Carolina too. I'm gonna say they beat Carolina too, and it's me being a total Leaf homer, and I
yeah,
don't care. I
yeah,
think Toronto's offense is better than Carolina's. That's not up for discussion. I think
yeah,
Carolina's defense is better than Toronto's,
yeah,
and I think the goaltending edge depends. It honestly depends. Mrazek, I'm assuming, is going to be their starter,
yeah.
and Reimer will be back up for Toronto. Hopefully, Sheldon Keefe goes and puts Campbell, which I
Yes,
think should
Campbell.
happen. I think it's equal. It's very equal because Campbell's had the better season. I think he's been the best out of the four,
Yeah,
but we've never seen him in a playoff series. That's
exactly.
another big X factor going back to this Montreal series the Leafs are playing. Campbell has never played a playoff game, and we know Carey Price, who I'm assuming is playing. I'm assuming he's going to be healthy. Same with Brendan Gallagher, we forgot to mention. Um, Carey Price in the playoffs, or even just pressure, he's a different beast. But
Yeah,
I think they beat them. Going back to this Carolina series, I think Toronto's offense is more better. I don't know how to word this, but more better than Carolina. Like, okay,
Carolina's defense.
I'll do this
Is
with
that
my
what you're trying
hands.
to say?
If this is Toronto's offense,
Yeah,
this is Carolina's offense, right?
yeah,
So it's a big gap here.
yeah.
This is Carolina's defense. I'd say Toronto's defense is like here. So there's a bigger
Oh,
gap
okay. So
in
there's a bigger
skill
gap between
also.
offense. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But one
So
of the most underrated lines in the league, I think it's Aho, Teravainen, and Natius are on the same line, but that's an underrated line.
yeah, Nietzsche is really good. And I could totally see Carolina winning it. That's a fantastic team, and
Yeah,
I love them. But I'm a Leaf homer, and
yeah,
I think if they're gonna do it, why not make it a season where there won't be any fans in the building?
yeah,
That being said, uh, we have Colorado going to the finals. I think that's almost set in stone, barring some crazy injury, which we've seen. Colorado has been
yeah,
plagued with the injury bug. That's the only reason last season why they didn't make it even to the conference finals. We saw Michael Hutchinson get in playoff games. which
He played in Game 7 of that Dallas
Yeah,
series.
he played in
That's
like 5, 6, and 7. I think he had a shutout in one of them too.
yeah. Wow, Hutch.
Yeah, barring any injury, Carolina will make it to the Cup Finals. We quickly touch on that. I think they win the Cup. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but this team they're good all around. Their defense is ridiculous with Cale Makar, Gerard,
Yeah,
Evan Taves, who's a really good defender, Bowen Byram, and then even in net, Philip Grubauer has been good. We haven't even touched on their ridiculous offensive core. So
yeah. So here's
yeah.
what I remember from last year's thing. I thought Colorado was going to win if they would get goaltending, and now Grubauer is giving them good goaltending.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is Colorado's year. They're 100. I think Colorado wins it this year. There's no way. I think they're winning.
Well, in my bracket, I have the Leafs winning it because
You're a Leafs fan, just like
I'm a
me.
Leaf homer. But realistically, if I'm turning on my unbiased hockey brain, Colorado's the best team in this league. And I don't think it's that close, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're also kind of disrespecting Tampa. We forgot. Tampa Bay is still like if Kucherov is right in stride, like he always is, Tampa Bay can go back to the finals, no problem. That's also a stacked team. Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, Anthony Chiarelli, Kucherov. It's loaded. So got to give them a little bit of respect. But yeah, I think Colorado wins the Cup, no problem.
Well, that was a really, really great conversation. Just whole season review, all of our predictions from before the season and now. And obviously, we both agreed on non-biased hockey players here. We have Colorado, but our biased Leafs fans, they're going to win 100%. Jack Campbell is good. Jack Campbell soup, however you want to call him, he's going to carry them to the promised land. It's going to be like the Binnington story, I'm telling you.
Yep, the backup comes in the middle of the season and goes on a ridiculous winning streak. And boom, Stanley Cup. First time since 1967.
And if the Leafs win this year, it will be a worse riot than the Raptors riot. Like a lot worse.
It'd be a provincial holiday. Like everything would shut. Like you thought COVID restrictions were bad. No, everything is shutting. No school. Screw this async stuff.
Sorry, Graham,
everything
if you're listening to this, but
yeah, man. I'm hopefully I can't say that, but yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun if it happens. I pray it happens. I just want one in my lifetime, and if it's ever gonna be a year, it's gonna be the year where it probably isn't even gonna happen in Toronto. Like I think if they go into bubbles, like probably not bubbles because I know Toronto, they all just got their first shot. But yeah, want to wrap this up?
Yeah. So that was just really good conversation. Like I said before, we wrapped up everything, season preview. The next podcast we're planning on doing, I don't know where we're going to shoot it. We're probably going to shoot it sometime soon. We're going to look at the Leafs review because we're going to go into depths because we're Leafs fans. We're going to go in the depths. And then what we also have planned is we're going to have a coverage video after every Leafs playoff game. So if they end up going far, we might have like 20 something of these if they make the Cup final. But we might have 4 of them. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. And we're just going to go in, no script or anything, just fully go into it and just cover the Leafs.
All right. Thank you guys all for listening. And go Leafs go. Watch the playoffs. Stay safe and get a vaccine.